message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
Should have changed over.
Camera 1.
All right, cool.
Camera 2. Camera 1. Camera 2.
Camera 2.
Middle,
All right.
yellow, different.
It's like people only do things for money. And that's just sad.
I think I need a towel.
Gross.
Don't forget it.
That's gross.
Look at this.
You turn your camera off.
Ugh. I hate those cookies.
That's the inside of this chocolate. It's hard chocolate.
It's that Italian cake, right?
No, it's a donut, though.
I hate those too.
I hate those too. Yeah.
What was
I've had the rainbow cookie donut before. It's not good.
This is the freshest donut, and forget everything else. Like the cake, this is the freshest thing I've ever had. This is amazing.
difference between fresh and moist?
This is the
You can't
moistest
say
thing.
moist, you gotta say juicy.
That is a good donut.
I hate those Italian cakes. What are they called Neapolitan or no?
Don't
Napoleon.
care. It's the best thing in the world.
The green, white, and red cookies and the cakes. And
Green, red, and yellow or whatever.
Dude,
It's like the color of the Italian flag or something.
I don't want to do anything ever again. I just want to sit here and eat these.
And we will let you.
And then he died eating it, and he never did anything again.
Ow!
Yep, see?
How do you hurt yourself eating a donut?
Got his finger stuck in the hole.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
What up, my Nagel? 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 Talking about George R.R. Martin, not writing. Talking Marvel versus DC, who's more exciting? Talking George Lucas's legacy, high-scoring centipede. Talking Gittles' new beef burrito recipe. Talking about Stephanie McMahon versus Sable. Talking about the Cybermen versus the Weeping Angels. Don't blink, the dialect's more deadly than you think. Talking summer ale, blueberry pale, craft beer, pouring drinks. What up, my Nagel? Deadpool 2 features Cable. Talking Funko Pop, celebrity signed a label. Talking online gaming, bitchin' and complaining. Talking E-Rock, kissing the feet of Matt Groening. Warner Brothers properties, Superman's a mockery. Weird Al concerts, Kevin Smith's debauchery. Rick and Morty fun zone. The Lego build team, can I have your attention? Possible Donkey Kong kill screen. What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel?
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Erik Nagel.
Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Erik Nagel. That is me. Over in the upside down is my friend Gittles.
Hello.
And over in the right side up is Trevor.
I'm not a friend. Hello, Miss Lady.
Don't turn into that girl. Trevor's becoming that girlfriend. It's like, why did you only write XO in the text? Why didn't you write XOXO? You used to write XOXO. It's like, I want to break up with you.
Why did you buy me a gun rack?
A gun rack. I don't even own a gun, thus many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Hi, Wayne. Game on.
You guys are the reason why I drink.
No,
What are you drinking?
you're the reason why you drink.
Jim Beam Red Stag.
The fuck is that? I can say 4 words too.
It's
Black
something,
cherry whiskey?
It's something trendy
Oh, okay.
college kids drink, probably.
Ugh, trendy college kids.
Also, I want to point out before, and we still got to start the show officially, but I want to point out, Trevor's in his studio drinking out of a flask when easily he could enjoy a proper beverage cup.
Just trying to look cool.
No, it's only because I went to move the flask out of the way and I realized there was some still in here.
Ooh, this was from Christmas.
It might be.
All right. 651 Smithers is the phone number, 651-764-8437 if you want to call and get in touch with the program. It's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and whatnot. Tell 2 friends. If you're listening to the show, obviously you are. Tell other people about it so they can listen and enjoy as well. Gentlemen, when we last left everybody, we were coming out of a polar vortex, an Arctic freeze, if you will. 85% of the country, the United States, was at freezing or below. And in the last few days, 65 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Totally normal weather.
We're all going to be sick and dead before February is over.
I like this is like the real fall because we don't have a fall anymore. It just goes from like summer to winter, kind of.
Yeah.
So like now we have fall in February. I feel like February fall. Like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
We
it's just,
we had
get used to it.
Yeah, we had this freeze where like Chicago was the most famous spot on the planet at that particular point in the middle of last week because they were at negative 57 degrees, and you were seeing just polar ice chunks going through the river of Chicago out to Lake Michigan. Minneapolis was having a huge problem. They were at like negative 30. It was quite an ordeal. But then they were pushing, it's like, by Friday, some places will see up to 100-degree temperature difference. And they're pushing at this like, this is a miracle. It's amazing. And go, it'll be 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're still wearing a light jacket at that point. It's still.
But you get so like accustomed to it, like acclimated rather to the weather so fast. Like it was a 30-degree day the other day, and I was like, man, I could wear shorts today because it was so cold for like 4 days. That I was like, when it's 30, I could wear shorts now. This feels great. But if it was like how it has been for the last couple of days, and then went to 30, I'd be like, fuck, I need a winter coat. Like it's.
All I've been thinking about for the last couple of days is because you have those people like, well, I guess, climate change, and they walk past you. But I just keep thinking of that scene from the Simpsons movie where Nelson grabs Milhouse. Say global warming's a myth. Say global warming's a myth. Like, that's just how everyone's acting towards each other because they don't know what to believe anymore.
I thought Trevor was going to say Bart's penis scene because we know that's his favorite. And it's his desktop.
Ew.
I know. Trevor's
Bart's
weird.
Penis scene? You see Bart's penis in the Simpsons movie?
You do. You never saw the Simpsons movie?
Oh.
I skipped school to see that.
Wait, what year? It was 12 years ago. Wow, the Simpsons movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was 12 years ago, and I had stopped watching the Simpsons for probably about like 8 years at that point. So,
well, good news. They're renewed for seasons 31 and 32. We'll discuss that in segment 2. We'll get into all of that. It is great news. Anyway, so by the end of last week, the temperatures, jumped 80 to 100 degrees in most of the area of the country. And then Saturday was GroundHog's Day. And
again?
Yeah.
Yes. And this time around,
I'm not letting you have that joke. It was too easy.
Punxsutawney Phil didn't see his. What's the one that means spring is coming fast? Saw his shadow, I guess, so that means...
he doesn't see his shadow.
If he doesn't see his shadow, it means 6 more weeks of winter. If he does see his shadow, it means an early spring.
No, I think it's the opposite.
It doesn't fucking matter because he's a fucking groundhog.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
We're relying on a rodent to give us a weather forecast. We have satellites.
Right.
We've gone to space. We're sending shit past Pluto, like way out of our entire solar system, and we're relying on a goddamn groundhog. And you know what? It was like minus 20 degrees. They're going to have to use a plunger. He's going to come up like an ice cube, like in one of those bank vault things. You get the drive-through, you put a gopher in that. That's what it's going to be. Fuck
like Professor Frank's solution to pulling Bart out of the well by nitro...
exactly.
Nitrous,
and then
like pull him right out with the plunger.
Yeah, and these be like 2 more weeks of winter. He's be like, I'm fucking frozen, dude.
It's such an just an old way of. It was a farce to begin with. It is a complete waste of time. Also, those farmers' almanacs. When people like to reference those things, you see them one time of the year and they're flooded by your local supermarket near like an impulse buy. Like you're going to buy the Farmer's Almanac too. It's like, well, the Farmer's Almanac said that we're going to have a brutally cold winter.
Yep.
Like, yeah, so is flipping this coin. It's going to be either super cold or it's going to be kind of okay.
Yeah, I was flipping through the Farmer's Almanac the other day when I was online in the grocery store. I was like, "Oh no, I have to plant my beans now."
Right. I looked at the Farmer's Almanac once, and guess what? It was just the cover. Inside was a word jumble.
Yeah, so I bought another can of green beans and I buried it in my front yard. So hopefully I'll have a green bean can tree growing soon.
Yeah. Inside there was just a copy of Ooh La La.
There you go.
Yeah, see,
Trevor knew a popular culture reference. Good for you.
I don't know what.
Back to the future.
I stumped Gittles.
Ooh la la.
Trevor's
now 1 and 99, like Glass
He's moved
Joe.
on to the bigger glass of whiskey, as you can see. He went to the mason jar. He upgraded from flask to mason jar fast.
It's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah.
It's only a Thursday.
At the
He's like,
time,
it's a Long Island iced tea.
At the time we're
I mean,
doing
Long
this
Island-
show, I had a text exchange with Trevor, and he was showing me his dinner, and I thought it was completely disgusting, so I had to share it. It's up on IHeartRadio on Instagram.
It was a quick dinner.
Trevor made a tuna melt wrap burrito. What do you want to call it?
I would say it was an open face wrap. No, because I was
Sandwich.
I was a wheat flour. Is that what it? No.
Yes, yes. Flour comes from wheat.
Okay, so a whole wheat tortilla. Then I put I was trying a new flavored tuna of bacon ranch flavored tuna.
Like, what do you mean?
Like tuna in bacon ranch dressing?
No, like I opened up the StarKist packet and it said tuna bacon ranch.
What?
All right, so they had seasonings in there,
I guess so.
like spices.
And
okay.
then I put that on the tortilla, and then I covered it in shredded cheese, Fiesta blend, and then I threw it into the toaster oven.
Wait!
melted it.
Yo, you're forgetting something.
No, wait, you don't put the relish until after you don't want to put the relish in the toaster oven.
Yeah, I don't want to cook the relish in there.
I just
Yeah,
Like,
Eric, come on, Eric.
as it is.
that photo
Eric.
was that photo post oven?
That was post oven.
Didn't look it, but okay. So you put it into
Yeah,
the
you gotta
oven.
figure out, like, your
First of
filters
all-
on your camera, so like it looks like more appetizing. Like you can make a gross food look good. You made that look worse. Like you had like the powder movie filter on that fucking food. Like it was so gross.
It
Bro,
looks like
I had to wake up, I had to work out, I had to make dinner, I had to come play Apex Legends, then I have to do It's Eric Nagel. I'm a very busy man, so I needed a quick dinner. All right, tuna, cheese, toaster oven to melt, some relish on the top, wrap it up, eat it. Done.
Nothing but net.
well, after you took it out of the oven with the relish on it, you said
No, the relish was post oven.
that's what I just said. You took it out, put the relish on, you took a photo and you sent it to me, all right? And you're like ooh la la, look how great this is. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? This looks disgusting. And Brian concurred. It looks like if, a newborn's diaper. If you open it up,
no, it
when the
doesn't. If
baby
it's
food
green.
comes in and comes out green, that's what that food looked like.
Did you post this on your page or on the It's Eric Nagel page?
It's on the IHeartRadio Instagram.
All right. I got
And
this up.
people are flooding with comments. None of it complimentary to what Trevor's dining choices.
Was I
see.
tagged? I don't see myself tagged.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I
this.
was tagged, yeah. You use emoji that I don't have because I'm poor.
See, but here's the thing. Like, some people on here are like, I don't know, it's not that bad. Some guy says, I've never been that repulsed. Another guy said it looks like a treat from Fire Festival. That guy's pretty good. Another guy says, coming from a New Mexico mindset, it looks delicious. But
What is
only
that?
because it looks like a chicken burrito with chili and green cheese.
It's tuna.
And then Chris makes fun of you. But, like, Chris can't say anything because he has his olive and tomato juice thing.
Yeah, I don't do anything from the Chris from Podcast Dummies. His
Yeah, he
norm.
can't.
Listen to this meal, Eric. All right, it's just a bowl of red pasta sauce with black olives.
Just floating in it, like eyeballs.
That's a little weird.
That's a side that they have at Thanksgiving and a side that they have at Christmas.
Wait, is it red pasta sauce or is it salsa with the black olive?
No. It is red pasta sauce.
Like a marinara sauce type
Yeah.
thing.
With black olives. just
Olives don't
floating
usually
in.
go in a pasta sauce. That's a
They
little
usually
weird.
don't go in anything. They're
First
gross.
of all, you don't just
I love
serve the
green
sauce
olives.
as a side. The sauce isn't a side; it goes over things.
Right.
Either way, it's not a Thanksgiving meal.
No, not at all.
Tomatoes and olives are not.
No,
Yeah,
that's that. I'll give you that too. That is kind of disgusting.
Thank you.
But I don't know, man. You got to take better food pictures. I bet you could have made that look a little better.
Yeah,
I'm
don't,
just
saying.
don't look
I'm
at
just
like
saying.
don't make it look like an open diaper next time.
I was in a rush.
Yes, I could tell. It looks like you just squirted it out there.
I got one guy in here says he makes his tuna with mustard. It sounds interesting.
That's
I've done that before.
I don't know. That doesn't sound right either. I gave up
No,
tuna
it's
though.
like if you put a little Dijon in with the mayo, it's really good.
All right, that I can see. But if you're
Yeah.
doing spicy
Not a
ground
lot.
mustard or stone ground mustard, it's like ugh.
No, just French's.
Yeah.
Why have you given up
Yellow.
tuna?
I don't know. I guess my tastes have changed.
mercury?
Like about at least 10 years ago or so, I stopped eating tuna fish altogether. It just doesn't
Wow.
appeal to me anymore. I don't eat it anymore.
You're poor.
I used to. I grew up eating it a lot, and I just didn't. One day, it just kind of switch went off,
It's
and I was
like
like, I'm not
just
eating tuna
done?
fish. Done.
Huh.
You know, but there's stuff I eat now that I
fish.
never would have eaten when I was younger, or even as a kid or a teenager. Like
I like tuna fish, but I'm not gonna get it out somewhere because they always put a lot of shit in it, and I just want like tuna and like salt, pepper, and like mayo or olive oil, and that's it. Like that's all I want.
People get fancy with that shit, like they do with chicken salad. They put fucking almonds and raisins in it.
Cranberries.
Yeah, it's like stop trying to be fancy.
Curry powder if it's an infomercial and it's the next morning and they're trying to figure out something to do with the leftovers.
Yeah. I had a curry
chicken salad. Every fucking infomercial.
No,
dare you to put on an infomercial?
Salt,
they don't
pepper,
have
mayo,
chicken.
maybe a little celery in there. That's about it.
Ugh, no.
No, you used to
Can't have celery in there.
Celery salt. That way, you double it up.
I mashed up celery into it. Celery's good.
I don't like. It's too crunchy, and celery tastes like gross.
Celery is a watercress. You barely even taste it.
Well, no, dude. It's bitter and spicy, and it's got a lot of fiber.
Celery is not spicy.
Oh yeah, dude.
It depends how you chop it. Yeah.
Celery is not spicy.
Every time I see it, I'm like, bleh, 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 I just spit it out. It's gross.
I love celery.
You put it in your vegetable drawer, and then everything else in that just dies because it's so bad.
So
do you ever have that happen? You put celery in there, and like after half a day, it just starts like turning into liquid.
All
and
my produce was repulsed.
Yeah, it's gross because celery is nasty.
I've never heard that before. Interesting perspective. I respect
celery.
It, but I don't think celery is spicy at all.
Well, yeah, it's totally spicy. Not like hot spicy. Like, ugh, why am I eating this spicy?
That's not spicy. That's just called gross.
Yeah.
But it's got like a tang to it. Like
no, it doesn't. I've never tasted a tang with it.
Sitting in a shitty plant. That's what it tastes like.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
celery is gross.
I think you're having a stroke while you're eating celery.
No way, man. Celery is disgusting.
Are you having a heart attack? Do you smell burnt celery?
Ugh. Can you even burn it? It's like 1,000% water. It has negative calories because it's trying to murder you.
There's water taped and glued on top of it.
That's how it is. You just put a bunch of glue together, throw some water and green, and then you sell it at the store.
Did we start the show yet?
Yeah, we kind of did.
Oh, okay, cool.
Talking about celery, Trevor.
Before we get into some other things, I want to throw this to Gittles because Gittles has a story to tell me. Tell all of us about what happened the end of last week when you saw a hit and run.
Oh yeah. So I know I'm laughing at the hit and run.
Hit and run, and he laughs.
I was walking around like I usually do, and I was walking home down the road like I normally walk down, and about 2 blocks ahead of me, I just see like a commotion happen, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, what's that commotion? That's not good." So I'm still walking that way because that's the direction I have to go, and as I'm getting closer, I see this crackhead guy. Well, he's more of a junkie than a crackhead, but I see him in the middle of traffic, like trying to rip this like car door off. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And it turns out that there was like a hit and run, and then the car that got hit, like the door got wedged shut. So this like junkie guy was like trying to help get the door open. So he was actually like helping in the situation.
Okay. A helpful junkie, got it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a one-way street, and the car that hit the car was pointing the other direction, and like you can't go that far down the street in that direction. So like I asked the guy, like everyone from the accident was like, okay, well, like thankfully there was like they had a kid in the car who was like 3, and he looked at me and he goes, "Why you hit my car?" And I'm like, "I didn't hit your car." And then there was like a wife there, and like she hold on,
pause for a second. The guy yells at Gittles, "Why did you hit my car?" Gittles
The kid did.
Oh, the kid did. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. Point was, I misunderstood. I thought the guy was, but Gittles is just standing there on the sidewalk watching all of this. How did he hit the car? But if it's a kid, they're dumb, so I get it. Gittles, continue.
It's just a dumb kid.
Dumb little kid.
Yeah, so I'm like just sitting there like hanging out with these guys. I'm just like, yeah, everything okay, you know, like I live up this way. If you need any information, you need any help, I got like some bottles of water and stuff like that. You know, where's like the guys who hit you? Like, because the car is just empty. They're like, yeah, there was like these guys, and somehow they just came the wrong direction down the road, hit us, and then they just got out of the car and ran away. I'm like,
so they left the
like,
car.
Yeah, they just left the car in the middle of the highway. Like, 'cause that's where it was. It was basically in the middle of the highway. Just left the car there, doors open, running.
So not even off to the side, right in the lane.
Nope,
there.
just like in the middle of the road. Like 2 cars crashed, blocking the entrance to the Kosciuszko Bridge, basically. And no one's there. Like, cop cars aren't showing up. Like, it was so crazy. The crackheads directing traffic. And so I'm just looking around in this car because I asked the guys, I'm like, well, what happened when they hit you? And they're like, it was like some young kids. They're probably like, 17, 18. Maybe this is like a joyride situation. I looked in the car, and it looked like there was a good possibility that the car was like hot wired or something like that because the stereo was pulled out and there was like wires dangling.
Stolen car, yeah.
Possibly, yes. And there was I'm wondering what was in it, but there was a bunch of really big duffel bags in the back seat, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And I didn't like go through anything because
come on,
it's a car accident.
Maybe it was 8 heads in a duffel bag.
Damn,
maybe it was.
Was it Joe Pesci who ran away?
No, it was like 2 guys.
Oh, okay.
But so we called the police, and we're sitting there like waiting for the police to show up, and then like these 2 guys come walking down the street, and it's the 2 guys who hit the people, and they don't say anything, and they're like, "Yo, you're the guys who hit us," and they just get in the car and just drive the fuck away. Like, they just come back, grab their car, and just leave. And it was just a very interesting situation because we're all sitting there like, yo, you guys, the cops are on their way. You hit these guys and they're probably going to need some info. Just drove out of there. It's like, all right. But the problem is they left the entire bumper with the license plate attached to it on the sidewalk. So the entire bumper was right there. And I texted Erik about the story.
Yeah.
And Erik was like, did you get the license plate number? And I just sent him a picture of the entire bumper with the license plate. I'm like, yeah, you could say I did.
So what happened when the cops came?
I don't know. I got out of there at that point. I had some like frozen groceries.
Well, why didn't you hang around for the cops to come around?
Because it was just, dude, the traffic that was all backed up from everything, like it was a fucking mess. And there was like so many people that were like crowding around on the sidewalk. And I was just waiting for the next car to come down, hit the car that's like stuck in the middle of the street, and then we all get like, run over. So I just, at that point I was like, I'm just going to get out of here.
I have so many problems.
What?
So I just kind of left.
I have so many problems with this story.
What?
I have video, like, because they were on the phone with the police, and I see these 2 guys coming. So the husband from the car accident is like sitting there looking at the guys, and I like whisper to him like, "Are these the guys who hit you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I just pulled out my video camera and just started taping them. So I videotaped them. I got like very clear video what they looked like, and I sent it to this guy to file for his police report. So.
I have many questions for you. When you were looking
before you ask your questions here. Not too long ago, before this incident, Gittles watched a building collapse and was live streaming it while some Hasidic Jewish guys were yelling at him not to film them what was going on. Where we suspected that these might be the slumlords that own this particular building and caused all this damage. So Gittles is just like, he's like a what are those groups that what are those groups that
bad shit happens?
What are those groups that the neighborhoods, like a neighborhood watch kind of thing?
Yeah.
Gittles just shows up and sees all the most horrific stuff happening in Brooklyn.
I'm like Rick Grimes from Walking Dead. I show up and everything goes to shit. But yeah, no, that was crazy too. I was just walking down the street. I was going to my the local card and comic book store, and I was going to pick up some magic cards because I'm a nerd. And there's like 40 fire trucks on the street, and I just asked them like, "Yo, what's happening here?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's like a partial wall collapse on this building, so they had to like evacuate everybody." And there was like more fire department people I've seen in my life. And while I'm like live streaming this, like this Hasidic guy was in front of me, and he was just like, "Yo, don't tape me." I'm like, "I'm not taping you, dude." I'm like, "I'm just taping this situation, and you happen to like be on the sidewalk, and if you get in front of my camera, I don't know what to tell you." And yeah, it was really sketchy, but I'm fairly certain that guy was the slumlord because he was taking pictures not with his cell phone. He was taking pictures with a camera and then like texting on another cell phone and then texting other people on another cell phone. Like he had like a whole bunch of different cell phones and camera situations going on. And then after I was videotaping for a while, he just left. He fled the scene.
Now you also this is the building story. We're talking about not the car.
This is the building story. Yes.
You were at a bodega right down the street when two Hasidic guys came in, tried to be intimidating to you.
Yeah, like when I left, they asked me like, "What were you doing? Why were you videotaping? What were you doing out there?" Like blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Yo, man, there's crazy shit going on the street, and that's just what happens in the year 2019, where shit happens and you pull out your cameras. Like, why were you videotaping? You said don't videotape him." I'm like, dude, like I was just videotaping. If you got in the way, I'm like, I could start videotaping you right now, and then they just turned and walked away. Like as soon as I pulled out my phone, they just turned and walked away. And I was like, okay, suspicions confirmed.
Okay.
It was like the only building on that entire block that hasn't been renovated yet, so it makes sense.
So the Hasidic Jewish mafia is in Brooklyn?
Oh yeah, dude.
That's what I got out of that.
Right in Williamsburg.
In Williamsburg? Oh yeah, dude.
And
my old landlords were like these crazy Hasidic guys. I've had a lot of I'm a Jewish person, but I've had a lot of issues with like crazy.
They're not
Hasidic
nice people. They really aren't.
And like I'll say that. My whole family will say that. A lot of Jewish people will say that. Like,
and it's not
nice.
And they don't even need to be provoked. You can just be in their presence and they get pissed off at everybody.
Dude, I was working for the USDA in Williamsburg in 2004, and my partner was black, and they called the police on us because there was a black man in the neighborhood. And the police showed up, and they're like, "What are you guys doing? We got a call that there was a white guy and a black guy casing houses around here." I'm like, "Actually, we're from the Department of Agriculture, and we're just inspecting trees for beetles." And we pulled out our badges to show them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they were probably just suspicious because you're with a black guy."
Yeah, you don't live on that street.
Exactly. Like it's sketchy.
I remember one time you and I were at Barcade over there.
Yeah.
And we were walking somewhere. We left the bar and we walked down one of their blocks, I guess. And they were all this was late at night too. And they were like the guys were sitting outside because they're in the path of where some of these bars are in Williamsburg, and they're yelling at you to get off their block and don't touch, like if you were leaning on their fence or something in front of their building, they're screaming at you. And
yeah, like you just like I don't even go over like by those parts of town. I'm like I just stay away. It's so annoying, and it's crazy too because there's like so many different neighborhoods, and you see like legit like 1980s movie racial disputes happen. In those areas where like Spanish people will be yelling at Hasidic people who'll be yelling at black people. Like it's fucking nuts. Like I've seen that shit happen so many times, and like it's just you kind of get used to it. You're like, oh shit,
it's all down. Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. It's Zebrahead. It's really Jungle Fever. It's all of that.
Like it really is, and I don't think people who don't live around here don't realize that it really is like that. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy story.
That's nuts. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they had their own gang.
Dude, they have their own police.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, in a way,
serious.
It's not sanctioned with NYPD, is it?
No, it's not. But they have like their own like undercover like Hasidic police force.
Yep,
that's a real thing. I'm not making this up. I'm not being racist or anti-Semitic anyway. This is just a fact. They have their own. You can Google it.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
It sounds very intimidating.
Yeah, it's very intimidating. It's very interesting.
I was thinking that secretly that this is really just all Amazon, like messing up your neighborhood, so that way when they move in and they build all this.
This has been going on since New York formed in the 1800s when everybody was coming over by boats.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, I mean like the car crashes, the buildings coming down.
Dude, watch Gangs in New York.
Oh no, dude! Like car crashes, buildings, like dude, that's just like every day in my neighborhood.
I don't have 4 hours to watch Gangs.
You just walk around. Walk around your neighborhood. Like, don't drive in a car. Walk around. You'll see shit. Like that's just what happens. Like the more you walk around, the more shit you see.
Trevor lives in a gated community right now. He's not going to see much of anything.
I do not live in a gated community. I can barely afford to my Bacon Ranch tuna.
Because he lives in a very posh area.
Bacon Ranch tuna, and I'm not joking you. I pictured like a Bacon Ranch and some guy like lassoing a tuna. Come on down to the Bacon Ranch. Woo! We got some Bacon Ranch tuna.
Any other questions, or do we move on?
Yeah, we can move on from the Bacon Ranch tuna.
Yeah, please.
Sunday was Super Bowl. Very lackluster. Even if you weren't a sports fan, you sit down with your family, friends, whatever. It's something to do on a Sunday. It's kind of a big deal. If you're not watching for the game, you're watching for the commercials, or in the last several years, it's been the hot spot for surprise movie trailers and other things. Like last year, Netflix said, "Hey, immediately after the Super Bowl, Cloverfield Paradox, which was the third in the trilogy, will be available on Netflix immediately after the game." And I was hoping they were going to do something this year, and Netflix didn't do anything. Amazon, Amazon had this series called Hannah, which I guess has a lot of buzz. And they said you get to watch the pilot episode for 24 hours, and then they take it down, and then you have to wait for the show to premiere in April, which was a really weird way to do it, but so be it.
Stupid.
A lot of the movie trailers, the full-length ones, were done before and after the game because the rates were so much cheaper than during the game, which I was reading online were like $5 million for a minute, which is grossly overpricing itself now, considering all the controversy surrounding the Super Bowl, around the halftime show for no reason, and it's just like $5 million is just not worth the money to try to capture that audience when you can just put it on YouTube, like Disney, Miramax, any of those movie companies, Warner Brothers. They can throw it up on YouTube and hit the same amount of people, if not more, by just doing it through YouTube now. They don't need to do it. Marvel had a couple of spots during the Super Bowl. They were short 15-second spots. They were just a quick little teaser saying that you could go and see the full-length stuff on the YouTube channels. They did it for Captain Marvel. They showed you an action sequence, which we hadn't seen before, and they had the thing for Avengers Endgame, which was super depressing and very realistic, and they were pretty much at a support group meeting. And they're just not, like, time has passed, but they're still not over it, and they're trying to figure out what to do with their lives at this point. It was very dark and dystopian, which is what Gittles enjoys. If you haven't seen any of those trailers, or if you missed everything from the Super Bowl, all of them are up on our Facebook page. It's Erik Nagel. You can go up there and check out everything that you missed. The trailer or the teasers, there was 2 teasers for that Guillermo del Toro movie that's coming out, but it's not coming out till August. It's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I thought they were doing that as a series.
Is it a series? Is that what it is? I just assumed it was a movie.
But I don't know. It could be a movie.
Well,
because it could be like a series of movies or like an anthology movie. I honestly don't know.
So
I'm gonna Google it really quick.
There's one teaser where a guy, I think it's a kid, hiding under a bed, and this creature walks through a door, and you're just seeing legs and feet. And it gets to the edge of the bed and whispers in a grovelly tone. It's like, give me back my big toes or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And then you see it cuts to the face of the person under the bed being pulled in the other direction, screaming. And it's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, August.
I remember, like, that was such a good... Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be a movie. All right. So there we go.
But I love his work. I'm anxious to see it.
I mean, I love his work too. I like his monster creation. Like, he's really good at monster design. Yeah.
I still have to watch. That's on my list too. I still have to watch the Labyrinth.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be like an anthology thing, because I'm looking through this thing and it's like talking about all different like short stories from it. So I don't know how it's going to work. Like, if they're all going to be connected or if it's going to be.
Probably has to be, right? I mean, it's based on those books.
Yeah, but those books were all just short stories.
Yeah, but I mean, like Stephen King stuff, majority of his books were all just compilations of short stories that got turned into things. But once in a while, they did there was like little things that tied into other parts of Stephen King's universe. Maybe that's what they're going to do with these short stories, unless there's enough of these short stories to validate an entire movie.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like you'd have to pick some of them and make a movie around like maybe 4 of them or something like that, like Trick or Treat, like that Halloween movie, do something like that,
or do it like the Coen Brothers did with Buster Scruggs on Netflix. It was 7 stories put together as a movie.
Yeah, like you could probably do that for the Scary Stories, but yeah, I mean, just like looking at these images, it looks pretty good. So I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, so when you look at the comparison between the illustrations and what some of the artist renderings that came out, it looks scary as fuck.
Well, those were some of the highlights to look forward to. If you've missed it, it's up on our Facebook. But the rest of the Super Bowl, even not being that big a football fan, was so fucking boring. It was slow. It was like even football fans hated it. They were just going.
It was actually the opposite. It was like the quickest game ever. Like it went by so fast.
Like, time-wise, maybe, but viewing perspective, you're sitting there like, by the time halftime came and it was 3-0 and barely anything was going on, everyone's like, this game is taking forever. There's nothing exciting going on here.
Yeah, because there's no action. It's just like you're looking at the time. You're like, oh my god, when will something happen? How long is this going to keep going? I thought we were done.
Do you know how this game played out? 2 field goals and a touchdown. That was it. That was the entire scoring process of the Super Bowl.
You guys are the reason why football is dying.
No.
Fuck football.
Maybe you're the reason why football is dying. You ever think of that?
Ugh, I hate sports.
I know. You guys are not the ones that should be talking about sports.
Oh, we can. I watched it. I have a right to
I can
complain.
talk about sports. Sports people talk about my nerd shit. I could talk about sports. I don't like sports. I watch esports.
Why is football dying, Trevor?
No, here's the thing. Giant controversy all over the place.
New York Giants.
Giant controversy. Look how big I am. I'm a giant. Sorry.
You see a giant walk through the city and you go, oh my God, controversy.
It's like, yeah, he just stepped on everybody.
Everybody runs. Nothing gets solved.
Whatever, with all the flags and how they can't play defense anymore because anytime someone gets tackled, there's a flag, or the games are being normally on average scored like 45 points because people like to see offense. People who don't normally watch sports that they're trying to grab, like you two, because they want like all this action all the time and everything like that. That was a great defensive battle of a Super Bowl.
And that's
Both
not what you do for the
games.
Super Bowl when millions and billions of dollars are on the line.
You don't play defense. Defense wins championships.
You don't
Eric.
have an entire game that's all fucking defense because everyone's sitting there like this is because you got the majority of those people watching the Super Bowl are not football fans. You are 100% right. Football will never get those ratings unless it's the playoffs going into the Super Bowl and then Super Bowl. Super Bowl gets the most amount worldwide. Worldwide, no one gives a shit about a defensive game. You want to see fights. You want to see injuries. You want to see, somebody drop the ball and recovered and going over for a touchdown. They want to see all this nonstop. Football purists, go fuck yourself because the Super Bowl's not for you anymore. Don't say it's not for the people who aren't fans of the sport. There's such a circus built around the Super Bowl that it doesn't mean anything to a pure football fan anymore. It's not about you at that point.
It's just about obviously the commercialization of it, but that's what it is. It's the spectacle of it now. You know what I mean? It's like people who don't watch it are like the same people who don't watch wrestling but will watch WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It's that level.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And guess what happens at WrestleMania? WWE pulls out all the stops. They bring in
it's also scripted.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying there are people that aren't on their roster that they'll spend money to get them to make a surprise appearance. They'll throw something weird into the storyline that's not part of what they've been setting up for the entire year, you know? They throw all this stuff that's a surprise for wrestling fans. They have a ton of celebrities. Like WrestleMania is as big as the Super Bowl right now because they have a week leading up to it. With all the events that they do in whatever city is hosting them, they have the night before they have the NXT takeover, which has become its own hugely, insanely popular thing. They have the Hall of Fame ceremony, which is a big deal for them as well.
It's a major event.
Yeah, but they know that it can't be boring and it can't be slow. And one of the benefits they have with that is that, yes, you're right, it is scripted so they can control the pace of how some of these things go. But sometimes a match does slow down and it does turn into, a bit of a technical wrestling thing where they're doing holds and submission moves and things like that. And the audience starts going crazy and booing and yelling and stuff. And then, they get in speed this shit up, make it more exciting. Stop, doing traditional wrestling. Football at that point at the Super Bowl can't be doing pure defensive strategies and gameplay on both sides of the team because there's too much riding on this. People are tuning out and you're losing millions of dollars. It needs to be a fucking blood fest.
Yeah, I want a car driving through just hitting people.
The seventh inning car could be there for the third quarter.
Look how upset Trevor is. He's like, these guys know nothing about quarter downs or touchbacks or nickelback.
What the chalk is made of.
Yeah, or what the chalk is made up, or like why the football looks like Stewie's head. Like, we don't know any of this.
Come on, Trevor. What's wrong?
So bad. I'm so
Come on, Trevor. Don't cry.
No, tell us. Why are you so mad?
Just
Don't
tell
sit. This is an audio medium. You have to express yourself.
Yeah, because the thing is, when people hype you up for the Super Bowl and then you watch it, it's like when someone tells you, like, this is the best show ever, and then they set you up to watch an episode, and it's the episode they do with the side character no one cares about, and you have to be like, no, but I promise you it's a really good show. It's like, yeah, but this was your one shot, and you blew it.
Yep, exactly.
The Super Bowl is not meant for you. It's just not. All right. What's meant for you is the commercials and the trailer and the halftime show. That's what's meant for you.
Dude.
And you guys can enjoy that as much as you want or hate on as much as you want. The football game is for me. And a defensive battle like that hasn't been seen all season. I thought it was amazing how the two best teams that made the Super Bowl that scored all those points, the average score they thought was going to be above 60, and it wound up only being 13-3. It was an amazing defensive struggle, and I thought it was a great game, and it made Tom Brady work for it again.
No, it made him look weak and pathetic the way that game was. None of them looked. I know what you're saying, but the public appearance of it is this was a wimpy game that barely anybody could actually get anything done. All right. Also,
my relatives who love football, I said it was the most boring thing they've ever watched.
I know a lot of pure football fans that said this game sucked. Sports radio, sports, television, all those things. I checked all those recaps on Monday here in New York. The Michael Vay show, which is syndicated. Mike Francesa out of New York. Chad Dukes out of Washington, D.C. ESPN stuff. Were just saying like this game was just like they all hated it. And these are guys who talk sports for a living.
I hated the game. But it was a great defensive battle.
Well, that's not what. Look, I get what you're saying, but that's not
great football battle right now.
That's pure football, great, but that's not business, and that's not what's going to be happening anymore.
It's the football.
Do you think that the Patriots give a shit? They got another championship. They don't care how entertaining the game was.
Patriots
now they
don't, but Patriots don't, and I'm sure. Well, look.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying that they should not have played defensive football.
No, Patriots did Patriots knew, everybody knew they were going to win this thing. There wasn't a shot in hell unless, a miracle happened that the LA Rams were going to be able to compete. From everything I read, they shouldn't have been in there. They lucked their way up into the Super Bowl to begin with.
Yeah, they hit a penalty.
The people who have a problem with the NFL itself.
Fuck the NFL. I don't care.
All right. I saw some of the statistics with the ratings. All right, everyone was bitching for the past few years. LA needs a team. We got to get these teams back to LA. You get two fucking teams. Nobody goes to the games during the year because I saw all the attendance percentages and stuff. Then the viewing of the Super Bowl based on regional ratings and national ratings and what have you. More people in the rest of the country watch the Super Bowl for the Rams and the Patriots than Los Angeles. And I'm not talking the national feed, I'm talking the regional feeds. Other cities were more involved with the Super Bowl than Los Angeles was watching their team in the Super Bowl. Los Angeles did not give a shit.
Los Angeles is the worst city in the world to have a football franchise. I don't know why the NFL deemed that they had to go back there and why they granted two teams to go there.
No, 3 teams in LA matter to anybody, and it's only for a matter of appearance. Dodgers game, Lakers game, and up until the 90s, the Kings. Nobody gives a fuck about the Clippers until they were getting ready to leave. Then all that, that fake outrage and everybody was going to Clippers games and the Clippers are the best. And then guess what? After another year, another season, nobody gives a shit. You hear nothing about them again. San Diego Chargers moved to LA. Nobody gives a fuck about them either. No one cares. Yeah, they play pretty horrible, but still there's no buzz about them at all. Same with the Rams. Everyone was excited the Rams came back. Good. Really? I thought they didn't do good. I'll concede to you if that's the case. I thought they didn't do good this season.
No, they went up against the Patriots in the playoffs, and that's where they lost. So they lost to the Super Bowl champs. No, I don't know why. The problem is that no one was going to see these franchises when they were in the other cities too. But LA is like the worst move.
Yeah, it is. It really was.
I read Oakland wanted to get out of California, and the NFL was like, we need teams in California. And so... Southern California.
Right. Well, anyway, the Super Bowl for an entertainment perspective was a complete bust. It's one of the worst Super Bowls that I've seen in my fucking memory of existing. There was nothing really exciting. Even the commercials and the trailers were just kind of
Best commercial, though. What do you think?
I don't know. Oh, one of the guys from Compound Media was in one of the commercials. An insurance commercial where the lady had the screw in her head.
That is was a good commercial, except it was a ripoff.
Well, I don't care what it was. The guy that sucks the screw out of her head and all that. Yeah. His name is Tommy Pope. He hosts a show called A Fair One on Compound Media. And when that came on, I was like, holy shit, I know that dude.
I know.
It was pretty cool. As far as the ads go, I don't care. I love that they killed off Dilly Dilly. That was good.
Who?
The Bud Light Dilly Dilly thing that's been going on for the last few years.
I don't see. This is how far removed I am. It's been killed off. I didn't even know it was alive.
All these dude bros love this stupid Dilly Dilly campaign that they had.
Dude, when we do it at the Jets, we do the Dilly Dilly cam.
Yeah.
The whole stadium just stops what they're doing and screams Dilly Dilly in unison, and we don't even like tell them to do it.
Yeah.
What? That's so stupid.
Well, now they killed off the campaign. It was a tie-in with Game of Thrones. The dragon comes. It was not a knockoff. It was an actual cross endorsement between Game of Thrones and Bud Light. The dragon comes up over the hillside and burns and slaughters all the knights and everybody that were in there in this village. And as the fire's all over the place, it says Game of Thrones and when the date is for the final season. And as the fire and the dust is moving away, you see the blue Bud Light knight just dead on the ground, showing that they just killed off Dilly Dilly, which I was like, thank God, because that thing sucks.
They actually killed the guy who says Dilly Dilly, the guy who said it the first, and he got set on fire.
Yeah, they killed the whole Dilly Dilly campaign off, which is, thank God, it ran its course. It's done.
But I mean, like, when was the last time there was actually like a good Super Bowl commercial though? Like, for a while there, like, they were really good, and then the hype became about watching the Super Bowl for them, and then it became like too weird. They got weird and they weren't good.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, they're just not that good anymore.
The last 2 years in the row, the best commercial was made by the NFL. It hasn't been made by a product.
That wasn't a commercial. That was really more of an extended promo. You're talking about the wedding or something?
The Legends 100, yeah.
Oh, was it a wedding or was it like an awards ceremony?
Back to
an
the
award
Flash.
ceremony.
Award ceremony where they all these old players from the NFL, from the college. The girl was from a college team, right?
She's just a female football player.
Yeah, but not in the NFL, in the college league.
No,
right?
No, but Ninja was in it too for video games from Fortnite. There's a whole bunch of people in
Good
it.
for him.
Yeah.
Another $1 billion that Ninja made. But that spot was more of an extended promo for the NFL. That one, I will concede, was very good.
And then the year before, you had Eli Manning doing the Dirty Dancing scene with Odell Beckham dancing in the middle.
No, that was not good.
Field. That was the #1 rated commercial by Adweek, USA Today, and Twitter.
Well, they're all idiots too, because that was not good. It was kind of like, oh, that's cute. It wasn't like, oh my God, fascinating. I can't believe they did that. Oh, one other thing with Bud Light, Gittles. So Bud Light pissed off a few other beer companies. So Bud Light did this whole thing about Coors, and they were naming Coors that Bud Light doesn't, their ingredients are all, I guess they were saying they're all organic ingredients, that Coors uses corn syrup in their beer, right?
Yeah.
So then you got Coors tweeting out to Bud Light saying, hey, thanks for advertising us in a Super Bowl spot. Like they didn't have to even pay for it. And then you had Miller Lite joined in, attacking Bud Light. All these beer companies started shitting all over Bud Light. It was actually kind of fun that I was like, well, I don't think that was really their intent, but I was glad to see this mayhem develop. Anything else with Super Bowl, or should we move on?
Wasn't that like a year and a half ago, Super Bowl?
It seems that way, right?
Because the game was that slow.
Right. A couple other things that happened this week. One, when are Oscars are still a couple weeks away. We can talk about them next week.
February 25th.
So we still got some time before we need to talk about them. A couple other quick little things. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did a commercial together. It was a joint spot. It's up on YouTube. It's up on the It's Erik Nagel Facebook page if you haven't seen it, where for the longest time, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool was trying to get some involvement with Hugh Jackman to get him back into the comic book series, the movie series, all that stuff as Wolverine, because they did square off against each other back in the day in the comic book series. So trying to get, on the movie properties, and it didn't really happen. But social media wise, they've been going back and forth for like the last 2 years against each other, playfully insulting each other and what have you. Well, they decided to call a truce to their rivalry, and they're sitting in a room together, and part of the truce was that one was going to make a commercial for the other person's product. Now, Ryan Reynolds has a gin company called Aviation Gin,
Yes.
and Hugh Jackman has a coffee company called, I think it's called Laughing Man Coffee.
It's either Laughing Man or Happy Man Coffee. I think it's Laughing Man.
Laughing Man Coffee, and it's one of those it's one of those things like Newman's. You know Newman's Own, where he makes the coffee, but then a lot of the proceeds from the sales of the coffee go to help underdeveloped countries and what have you. So they show each other's commercials, and Ryan Reynolds does this huge, like, epic movie style spot for the coffee.
Can a cup of coffee be a superhero? Because Laughing Man beans are born with a special power. Sure, it's the best tasting coffee on the market. Yeah, it awakens your senses with unbelievable flavor. But it also lifts up communities around the world in the form of housing and scholarships. And Hugh could be behind such a heroic company. Hugh guessed it. My friend, Hugh Jackman. The loving and caring man who created Laughing Man. Make every cup count.
And it comes really well. And Hugh Jackman's floored. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe
it's more than just visually satisfying. What he says pulls the same kind of heartstrings that like an ASPCA commercial pulls.
Yeah,
like,
that is
you
true.
You felt it emotionally in your heart. Like, I don't even drink coffee. I wanted to go out and buy this coffee because I thought it helped the poor.
Right.
And just made people better.
So Hugh was just sitting there. He's like, I can't believe you did this. This is so great. Ryan Reynolds, it's like, oh, let's see your commercial. He's like, oh, no, I didn't know you were going this far. It's really not up to par yet. Just give me another week to work on it, what have you. And he's like, no, you have it. Come on, let's just roll it. And it's just Hugh Jackman sitting in a chair, leather chairs, books on the wall, fancy table, bottle of gin there.
I'm not quite ready to show mine yet, but let's just cut for a second. No, it's not almost finished, just some color correcting a little bit. No,
let's just roll it. Come on, I
it's
can't wait
almost
to see
there.
it. Go, roll it.
Ryan Reynolds is a complete and total The gin's pretty great, though. I'll have to try it someday.
And that's it. And then just flashes the logo for Aviation Gin after he pours it on the table.
That's pretty funny.
It's two sentences.
Yeah, but he just sits there looking awkwardly into the camera like, I'm not doing this shit. Like, I'm here. You're paying me. I'll just sit here. But I'm not endorsing this thing.
It was great. And then when they flash back and Ryan Reynolds is just sitting there hurt.
Yeah, he's all upset. He's like, how could you do this to me?
It cost $1 million to make yours.
Other products in the news. KFC just announced that they're going to be offering up, as part of a contest, Colonel Sanders Bearskin Rug.
Oh, I'm so pumped. I could use that for the studio.
They're going to give it away as part of a Valentine's Day giveaway. The fast food chain is offering its biggest fans the chance to win just such an item as part of their Valentine's Day contest designed to supply the lucky winners with KFC-themed date nights for a year. As part of the prize package, winners will not only receive the limited edition faux bearskin rug, which they had to point that out many times because you'll get all the PETA people and animal rights activists all up in your ass. That it looks like the Colonel Harlan Sanders. The limited edition fair bearskin rug that looks like the Colonel Harlan Sanders, but also a pair of chicken-themed pajama onesies. Oof. A KFC gift card, and a year's worth of access to an online streaming service.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How do you win this?
I really want it.
You have to go to the KFC website and enter. Now, I don't even care about the rug. The rug would look great if we could put it in Trevor's studio to deaden the sound of his tiled floor. But I'm really more interested in getting the chicken-themed onesie for Trevor to wear.
This is laminate, all right? Laminate. Not that fancy.
Baking out the good stuff, I see.
Yes.
We got to get a chicken onesie for Trevor.
Oh, dude, I want to do dirty things on this Colonel Sanders rug just because it's got human hands, human feet, and it's his head. It's just the weirdest thing. It is terrifying because he's smiling at you the whole entire time that his dead body is sprawled across the floor. It's Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they run over Christopher Lloyd with a steamroller?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
That sounds horrible.
But it's, it looks comfy. You should, the picture that they show for this rug is just two people in satin pajamas laying across it with a bottle of champagne. The champagne's in a KFC bucket full of ice. And it's just the most non-sexy romantic thing in the world. But I want it, and I want it now.
Yep. We're going to find a way to get those chicken pajamas for Trevor. I don't care if we get the rug. We need to get the chicken pajamas for Trevor. The onesie. And hopefully it has the little trap in the back door to make it look all cute.
Oh man, it says head to the KFC Reddit right now and enter.
All right, go and do it then. While you go do that, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we've got some updates on TV and movies, some things that we saw, and Trevor Gittles has a video game update that he might be done with Fortnite for now, and in favor of a new game that he just downloaded and apparently he loves. So we'll take care of breaks, and we'll be right back.
It's Nagel with Erik and Gittles. More next. It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel.
Hey, it's Ken Jeong, and you're listening to It's Erik Nagel.
Hello, and welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. Myself, Gittles, Trevor, all here with you. 651 Smithers is the phone number, 651-764-8437. As we dive into segment 2, we look back at the weekend that was for the box office. Coming in at number 1 is Glass. Number 2, The Upside. I don't remember really what that movie was.
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston's movie with Kevin Hart and Nicole Kidman. Right. Number 3, Miss Bala. Brand new to the box office there. Number 4, Aquaman. Still doing well. And 5, the movie that just will not die, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's just continuing. Money. It is continuing to kill it. What is its total gross at so far? It's got to be like $11 billion. It's at worldwide $350 million. That's not bad.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
That's pretty good.
Opening this weekend is Cold Pursuit, is the Liam Neeson movie, which they canceled his British premiere. I don't know if they canceled the Los Angeles or the New York premieres based on his recent comments, which we'll get into in just a moment. Also,
the premiere happened, but they canceled the red carpet.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Lego Movie 2 is coming out, and the other movies I don't think really warrant any attention there. So,
what about is the Prodigy this week too? And is
the Prodigy is this week. Who's in that? Hold on,
Firestarter
right here. Prodigy doesn't have any. Oh, that's the girl from Orange Is the New Black, Taylor Schilling.
Yeah, Taylor Schilling.
What is this movie about?
It's about a family that has this son, and he starts showing a rapid sign of intelligence. So they have to put him in like a special school because they're trying to figure out like how gifted he really is. But then they come to find out that his behavior is not only is he smart, but it's becoming increasingly erratic and violent. And then everyone starts to get afraid of him. And even the husband's like, yo, I don't know if we should have this kid in the house. Like, I don't feel safe here anymore. And she's like, but he's my son. I could never let him go. And then, like, she's afraid, really, though, to be in the house because he's going to kill him. So.
That sounds confusing.
It is. It's a little confusing because you don't know if he's just nuts or if he's, like, possessed by the devil.
Right.
It's probably a little beach.
Oh, well. What can you do?
But at least you got How to Train Your Dragon too. Oh, I know that's the following week.
Right. Coming out on DVD, if you missed it for the Christmas season, the brand new Dr. Seuss. I know that did very well. That's out on DVD for those of you with kids. The Girl in the Spider's Web, which is the second of isn't that in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series?
I believe so.
This is the American version, not the Swedish version. That's out on DVD as well, and a lot
The Grinch came out too.
The what?
The Grinch came out on DVD.
Well, that was the first thing I said.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, I thought I heard Cat in the Hat. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. But the following week, Bohemian Rhapsody comes out, so that means that'll be available for rent on iTunes, and I can actually finally see the movie.
I saw it once. It was good enough.
Well, I haven't seen it at all. That's what I was waiting for. The DVD release opens it up to
I saw a couple of like scenes from it, and it looked so bad that I was like, I can't watch this. It's just terrible.
No, it should be in the race for Best Picture, but I think it's got a lot of. I just think there were better movies made for it, like this award season.
Right.
But it was very well done. The Live Aid scene is the most fantastic thing in the whole entire movie, but it's the last 20 minutes. So for a 2-hour and 15-minute movie.
Well. The weird thing with that movie is, depending who you talk to, they either thought it was amazing, it was a fantastic movie, or people just said the editing was hard. Oh, Gittles told me that the editing Looked horrible.
I saw like one scene and it looked so fucking bad, and it was like 2 minutes, and there was so many different cuts and angles, and like the wigs looked so bad. I honestly couldn't tell if I was watching a spoof of Spinal Tap or like Pete Davidson pretending he was Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. Like it was just so bad. Like I couldn't figure out what was happening, and I was like, if that was 2 minutes of this movie, I can't watch any more of it.
Well, that's a problem. Like, I feel like because it was the members of the Queen making what they wanted to be a movie about Queen, but everyone cares about the story of Freddie Mercury, it was a bounce back and forth, in my opinion, of a biopic and a concert movie. So the fact that it's like during the Golden Globes was nominated for Best Drama when it could have been easily in Best Comedy or Musical and won. It's really weird.
But that's all political shit, because if it was it wouldn't get Best Picture if it was, you know, Best Musical or Comedy. You know what I mean? They were going for that. They're going for the Best Picture. Like that's all politics.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it really weird that it won the Golden Globe and didn't it win? No, it didn't win for the SAG Awards. So I don't know what the Oscars are going to bring. It's going to be really interesting. I highly, highly think that A Star Is Born is getting robbed. It probably was the best movie that I saw in 2018.
Really? Like, you're
out of
like,
everything.
Very few people who tells me that. Every other person telling me it's just like this regurgitated, horrible, fucking predictable.
It was. I thought it was an obvious Oscar piece. Like they put this out as a prestige piece just to curry the favor of the Academy, so it would win an award.
I don't think it's going to win anything. I think it might just win Best Song. Otherwise, I think it's going to almost get completely shut out of the Oscars.
What do you think's going to win?
Just for for the best movie?
Yeah.
It's either going to be Bohemian Rhapsody or Roma.
Really? You think Roma?
It's the typical movie that no one's seen yet is critically acclaimed. You know?
I don't know, like, you know me on award shows. I don't know anything about any of these movies.
Exactly. Everyone saw Bohemian. Black Panther's not going to win it, you know. But so it's either going to be Bohemian Rhapsody or Roma. Green Book's going to be up there too. Those are probably the top three. But A Star Is Born, very predictable, Gittles. But that's also because this is the fourth time the movie's done. So this storyline has been used over and over again.
But that's like, I don't know. That's for me, like, how many freaking times do you have to go back to that same well, you know? And like,
I have to say that Bradley Cooper did well though with reimagining it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but like, come up with something fucking new, man. Come up with something original. This is my problem with like Hollywood and TV and everything. It's just like everyone goes back to the well to what they know can be a success, and like I want people who are going to push the envelope and like put out shit, and maybe it'll fail, but like I want to see something new. I'm tired of this rehashing. Like as soon as you saw the trailer for that movie, it was just like, all right, well, here we go. We're going for the Oscar, maybe even a Grammy on this one too. Like, I don't know.
It's going to win a Grammy tomorrow on Sunday as well.
So I don't know. It's stupid.
I caught up on some movies out of my own collection. One I have seen a few times, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And another movie I've been meaning to watch and never did, but I know a lot of other people have watched this. The first one being Groundhog's Day, which I saw it in the theater, and I've owned it forever. And the last time I saw it, I think, was early 2000, so it's been a while. Sat down to watch it with some new eyes and really enjoyed it, and didn't realize at one scene that Michael Shannon is in the movie.
Oh yeah,
he's in that I will say like that dance hall gathering,
like that dance hall thing. Yeah,
yeah, and Bill Murray gives him tickets, and they're like WrestleMania, and I was like, oh my god, it's Michael Shannon! What a weirdo! But watching the movie, it's like, I forgot how good this movie was. I always knew it was good because I saw it originally, but I forgot how good it was, and I was so glad that I took the time to sit down and watch it again.
It's like when you go back and watch Back to the Future and you forget that Crispin Glover is like his dad.
I don't think I've ever had that happen.
I forget that it's Crispin Glover because I didn't know who Crispin Glover was at the time, like when I saw Back to the Future, because I was so young. Oh. So then you watch movies and then you go back and watch it, you're like, holy shit, that's Crispin Glover.
I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So for me, if I didn't know who Michael Shannon was from his stuff that he's done since Groundhog Day, I would have never recognized him in Groundhog's Day. You know what I mean?
But it was great to watch that movie, and
he's the fastest Jack in all town.
and re-explore that world, and it was a great movie. But then I was like, well, what am I going to follow this up with? I have a lot. Do I rent a movie off iTunes? Do I go to my list on Netflix? Because there's a bunch of movies that are on there of movies that I have not seen that I was thinking about. Like one of them I think I'm going to watch very soon is No Country for Old Men. I still have not seen that movie.
I just saw it. It's really good.
I hear great things about it for so long. I'm finally going to sit down and make the time to watch it. But I decided to go and randomly choose something out of my collection that I know I haven't seen that everybody else has seen, because it's been a while since I've done this. And the movie I picked out, I was thinking about it, and I realized this. I saw the movie when it first came out on cable, but I did not either fully watch it or finish it or whatever because I remembered nothing about the movie. So looking at this, and I said, you know what? If I sit down and watch it, it's pretty much going to be for the first time watch this movie because I don't remember a damn thing about it. So I pop it in and I'm watching it, and that movie is The Usual Suspects.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, it's a
signed by everyone. You hadn't seen it?
No, just Stephen Baldwin.
No, it's signed. Stop. It's signed by Kevin Pollak, by Stephen Baldwin. It's signed also by Chaz Palminteri. And that's it.
Can I borrow that? I promise I'll give it back.
I'll do like Netflix. I'll put the DVD in an envelope and mail it to you.
Yay!
Nice. You gotta mail it back.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, he's not getting the case. He's just getting the DVD.
Oh yeah, he's not getting that case.
Wait, can I do that with you?
What'd you think of you?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Can we start our own Netflix?
Eric Flicks.
Chat Flicks.
Nagel Flicks.
What do you want? I have 40 titles.
Yes.
Some of them are unlabeled. I just want it says Memorex.
Listen, I have Simpsons seasons 1 through 30 and The Usual Suspects. What would you like to order?
Yeah, I have Futurama season 2. Disc 3 is really scratched.
So anyway, I watched the movie, and first off, it's a Bryan Singer film. So
yeah.
Don't let if you've never seen the movie,
don't let the children.
Hey, hang on. What, Gittles?
I just said that's one of the usual suspects.
Yes, it is. If you've never seen the movie, don't let that deter you based on his current legal issues. This was from...
Is there any other people in that movie who have current Hollywood problems?
No, not really. Just one's a religious nut. Everybody else in there. And I forgot Gabriel Byrne is in there. I really like his stuff. He's in there. Kevin Pollak, like I said. Kevin Spacey is in there.
Yeah,
there's the other one.
About.
Benicio del Toro's in there.
But him and Bryan Singer on the same film must have been fun for everybody.
Yeah. I enjoyed the movie.
It's a great movie.
I don't... Here's the thing that confuses me. So, at the end of the movie, spoiler if you haven't seen this in 30 years.
Chester Copperpot? Yeah.
Yes, Chester Copperpot indeed. So, everything's around Kaiser Soze, right? Mm-hmm. Who is this... Apparently gets revealed that he's this intimidating international crime figure that everyone's afraid of, doesn't really know what he looks like, and doesn't know where he is, but they all wind up working for this guy, and it's all out of intimidation and fear. So as the investigation's going on, they're talking to the usual suspects, and it's these 5 men. And as they're grilling them to find out about a botched robbery, caper, whatever you want to call it, and trying to put all the pieces together to discover who really is Kaiser Soze. The main twist of the movie is Kevin Spacey being interrogated by Chaz Palminteri, and as he's telling the story of everything going on, and he's throwing all this little information out here and there, which is kind of useless, or so you think. So the whole movie goes through, he's telling the story, his recount of everything that happened, and they pretty much settled on the fact that they believed Kaiser Soze was Gabriel Byrne's character, who happens to, die in the caper there. Well, as he leaves, this is what bugs the shit out of me. Chaz Palminteri is like, well, I guess we got it, and he's talking to the LA officer that he's working with, because Chaz Palminteri is a New York officer, and he's talking with them, and it's like, we got it, and we're trying to, mold the case together. Now we're pretty much set on the fact that Gabriel Byrne's character was Kaiser Soze, and they're going to start filling out the paperwork and try to close this case. And he's sitting enjoying his coffee on the corner of a desk, and he's looking at the office of the LA cop, and he's seeing all these bulletins and things thumbtacked to the big board. And he starts to, I don't know, this is what drives me nuts. I don't know how he made the connection. Like, what did he see on that board from such a distance that was like, wait, that was a name that Kevin Spacey's character used for this part of the story. Things off these papers here were all used in Kevin Spacey's story. It's like, nobody sees that right away with how small those things were. Nobody puts it together that fast. The second he leaves the room, then all of a sudden he figured out the guy was lying.
Dude, he's Chaz Palminteri. His mind works different than the rest of us. That's why he was the lead investigator.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It just seemed really quick to force the ending.
You have to suspend belief in movies, man.
I do. But that bugged me. Because Kevin Spacey just walked out of the precinct, and he was walking away, and he plays a gimp character, and you see as he's mulling it over, Chaz Palminteri's mulling it over, they're showing the feet of Kevin Spacey walking, and it goes from being, like gimpish to walking straight right up, gets into a car and walks away, revealing that he was Kaiser Soze the entire time. But just the reveal of Chaz Palminteri just sitting on the corner of the desk and then putting it all together in an instant, that just seems like bullshit.
It's because he realized all the names that he gave him were fake.
I don't know. He came to that conclusion way too fast.
No, because you have to rewatch it. That's what it comes down to.
What he watched was that little sticker on the fucking chalkboard corkboard combination thing on there was that little town that he said, I used to have a barbershop quartet in Suzuki, Illinois, or something like that. And that little sticker had the town, which set off the whole chain of events as he's looking over there. Nobody catches it that fast. Like, dude, you saw a little sticker in the corner of a blackboard there, and that's what revealed the entire thing to you? I'm suspending disbelief, but I just thought it was just way too fast. That was just my take from it.
No, but it's like, I don't know how to I don't know how to explain it to you without just, like, because like the name Kobayashi, when he's like talking about that, like that was the name that was like the name on the coffee
on the bottom of the coffee cup, right?
It's like he was realizing that the person he was talking to was this smooth talk, was the guy who can get out of anything, and he's putting it together. He's like, oh wait, Kobayashi, what are the odds that that's the name of this and the name of this? And he sees the billboard, what are the name of these odds? And then he puts it all together that fast. He probably had suspicions that maybe he could have been the guy, but that he convinced him that he wasn't the guy, and then when he left, he's like, oh shit, he was the guy.
But that fast? Like, he just left the interrogation room, and that's how fast he put it together by looking at a small sticker that nobody could read without glasses?
How fast you come to realizations about shit, man. You never know, man. I don't know. I'm not a police interrogator. I don't have all these things going through my head.
One other thing that was funny looking back, in hindsight, this far away, away from when the movie came out, the guy that they portray as Kaiser Soze in the movie, the guy with the long hair, he's supposed to be like Eastern European and all that, is the father from Kindergarten Cop.
Oh,
that Arnold Schwarzenegger has to fight in order to protect the kid.
Yeah, that guy he was like kind of weird.
Yeah, and
he was like a wrestler or something like that who got into acting because he had a very like.
Oh yeah, he could have been a wrestler, but I know he wasn't. But when he walked,
I thought he was Steven Seagal's like stunt double.
When he walked through that fire scene, I go, "That's the guy from Kindergarten Cop. That's the asshole deadbeat dad." Anyway, just an observation for you. But
how your mind works is amazing.
Why? Because I recognized him.
That whole movie could just be ruined for you by the dad from Kindergarten Cop.
That's not Kaiser Soze.
That's the guy who didn't pay his child support.
It would be a great and really weird crossover that if the father's name in Kindergarten Cop is Kaiser Soze. Like, who saw that Easter egg?
What'd be crazy is if the movie Drive was like a really late sequel to The Usual Suspects or Baby Driver.
Oh, I haven't seen Baby Driver. That's on my list.
Because Baby Driver, Kevin Spacey is like the mastermind, like criminal guy who runs the whole organization and hires the driver. So
yeah, it wouldn't work though. It's the ending ruins that.
We had the kid on our show from Baby Driver. He came in to promote that movie.
Baby?
No, yeah,
Baby?
But he was Baby, but I'm trying to think of his real name.
Ansel
Elgort.
Yeah, I remember he had like a Benedict Cumberbatch name or something like that.
Yeah,
like Ansel Elgort.
Because we spoke to him and
right?
The what?
Or something. Isn't he like a DJ or he's like an electronic musician or something?
Something like that. We spoke to him, and then we also spoke to what's his name from Punisher? John Bernthal.
Yeah. It was awesome.
What has Ansel done since then? He's in all those. He's in that weird franchise of Insurgent, Divergent. It's weird teenage movies with superpowers.
Yeah.
Wow, he's Tony in West Side Story coming out in 2020. That's a huge ordeal. Good for him. Billionaire
Go,
Boys
Tony.
Club. Nothing really else that comes to mind since Baby Driver, but he's working. Good for him. Good for him indeed. I think that was it that I've watched from. Oh, for as far as TV goes, for some TV updates, you saw the spot if you watched the Super Bowl. If not, I think I put it up on the Facebook page for the teaser for Twilight Zone with Jordan Peele sitting in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Walking out on the field to a door that's on the 50-yard line. He walks through it and disappears. It was kind of cool. Again, Twilight Zone is premiering April 1st, and that is intentional, and it's not a lie or made-up bullshit, on CBS All Access app, but you do have to subscribe to it, which Matt and I were talking, and it was like, it's unfortunate because we really want to see that, but neither one of us want to pay for the All Access app. So we'll have to wait and see if it becomes available on demand or somewhere else where we can watch it, but because I'm not going to watch it on All Access, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sesame Street turns 50, Trevor. You should be very excited about that. No? I thought that was one of your favorite shows.
I mean, I had a Big Bird
In your pants?
constantly. No, I don't really. Yeah. Go, Grouch, go.
Grouch.
Go Grouch, go. That's like me trying to get motivated for work every day. Go Grouch, go.
So Sesame Street turns 50 years old. I caught it, I guess, in its 10-year anniversary and watched it when I was growing up.
I was going to say that means it was 20 years old when I was born.
Probably.
Yeah, so I'm cool.
And now it's on HBO for the last several years. It's not even on PBS anymore.
PBS?
Yeah,
Really?
HBO bought the rights to it and gave a ton of funding to the Children's Television Workshop, and they just said we can't pass on this ordeal because PBS was
good
not
for them.
PBS was not going to match the numbers that HBO was willing to spend for that property. So it's been on HBO. Apparently, it's done wonders for the HBO Go app. And also, Sesame Street has its own website and app, so you can if you don't have HBO, you can watch them on those sites. They're all over Netflix in the kids section. Sesame Street has no signs of stopping, so that's a huge ordeal.
It's a popular show.
Very popular show. Was there anything else TV wise? I finished The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
It's amazing, right?
It's so good. And I watched the Christmas episode. The Christmas episode was very well done. And I'm waiting for season 2 now. It started off a little slow and I was uncertain, but it really got kind of dark and messed up as each episode went along. I really enjoy the show.
Yeah, that chick from Mad Men is awesome.
The daughter, it was John Hamm's daughter. I forget her name now, but she plays Sabrina in there. And then one of her aunts was the girl from the British Office. She was the receptionist.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. No, it's a really well done show. I can't wait for April. I'm very happy that in less than a year, we're going to get season 2 from something from Netflix.
After I finished, I didn't realize, I swear, I hit a wrong button on the thing. I thought I was going to go back to my list. And when you finish the final episode of a series, it has recommended suggestions on the bottom. So I hit the wrong button thinking I was going back, and it started another series. And I wound up watching this other series. And it just came on Netflix last week called Russian Doll.
Oh, yeah, I heard that's great.
It's really good. It's really messed up, too. It stars Natasha Lyonne, who you may know.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's 8 episodes. You may know more recently from Orange is the New Black on Netflix. You may know her from the American Pie, the original trilogy of movies there. You may know her from that. I enjoyed her in a movie called The Slums of Beverly Hills in the late 90s. She was in that. She's in a bunch of different things. So she's the lead in this show. It's produced by her and Amy Poehler, who's involved with that, and also the writing. And it's about a girl who dies leaving her party on her 36th birthday. And it's kind of Groundhogish Day, where she dies and winds up back at the start of the party. And as each day goes on, weirder things happen. People start missing. Things start disappearing. She can't figure out what's going on. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's too fairly new to give out any more details. But I was surprised by how good it was. I didn't think it was going to hold my attention or I would really be interested in it. Like, it just felt like it was going to be an Orange is the New Black kind of thing, which I punched out of, I think, in the second season. I just couldn't really take it. This was good. It's 8 episodes. It feels a lot longer. It feels like you're watching more episodes than you really are, but those 8 episodes, it's a really good show. And where it's obviously going to leave it for a season 2, but where they leave it, you're actually very intrigued. You're like, you feel satisfied for spending your time watching this series.
Sweet.
So if you can, Gittles, if you want to give that a chance, go and watch it, and then we can discuss your thoughts with mine as far as the series goes. Trevor, you too. It might be a show that you and your lady may enjoy together.
Ooh, I have one of those.
Well, you would hope. Gittles, we talked a little bit last week that Trevor saw the Ted Bundy things on Netflix. Now Gittles finally saw it. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I just didn't know a lot about Ted Bundy, so I feel like I kind of learned a lot about it. But overall, I didn't think it was anything like super spectacular, but it also wasn't boring. So I don't know. I think if you want to know more about like the Ted Bundy thing, then watch it. Like, it's pretty interesting.
I think the spectacular part about it and why it's such a big deal, because obviously there's people who went through it and lived it like during the time in the news and people knew about it. But for our generation who knows nothing about it, it's really interesting to watch and see, so you get all the information. But I think the thing that's groundbreaking of it, the reason why it's such a big deal, is because these tapes were locked away for so long of Ted Bundy actually talking about these crimes. Again, at the time that the tapes were being made, he wasn't admitting to killing anybody. And he just wanted, so he craved human interaction. So he kind of just told the prison system that he wanted to talk to someone so they could write a book. And the prison system was like, maybe this is when he's actually going to admit all this crap that he did. And for months, he was just dicking around and just talking. And finally, the people who were writing the book were like, well, Ted, you know more than anybody about the cases. What's your take on it? And he kind of like perked up. And he was just like, well, this person would be, kind of, happy when he saw the bodies just laying there and blah, blah, blah. And like so he was able to talk about the crimes and not
in like a third person kind of way.
And not incriminate himself. So that's why I think this documentary is such a big deal, is because you couldn't hear these tapes until now, or they just weren't released until now.
Well, I'm wondering because I feel like the documentary, because it hasn't been out that long. It's only been out for like maybe 3 weeks or so.
January 24th was the 30th anniversary of his death?
Yeah. I was just going to say, and that's the day it came out. So that's probably why it was probably a 30-year like gag order type thing on it. Because there's a documentary that I saw in college that was on a 30-year ban. They couldn't show it anywhere. And then it became legal and we watched it. It was pretty fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to have to give that a try at some point, but the one I think I'm going to have to jump to immediately is this one that everybody at work and a lot of other people I know have been asking if I've seen it, and that's, I know Gittles has seen this, Abducted in Plain Sight.
I haven't seen it yet.
I thought you did. All right, my apologies.
I was going to, but I haven't watched it yet.
Everyone has said the same two things to me involving this documentary. One, have you seen Abducted in Plain Sight on Netflix? No, I haven't. 2, you need to see it because it's the dumbest family in the world. And I said, I will watch. Everyone has said they are the dumbest family to ever exist. And I said, I will go and I will watch this documentary because everyone's been saying how great it is. And I don't usually try to go with what everybody jumps on because Bird Box was a piece of garbage. But this was something that everybody was comically laughing at, even though it was a horrific situation. Just the concept of how dumb this family is was humorous to a lot of people. So that intrigued me. So I'm going to have to go and check that out.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
I want to end the show talking about Gittles found a new game that has been taking away Fortnite for him. What have you been doing? What's this game? What have you been playing?
It's not really taking away Fortnite. I was playing Fortnite like kind of like sporadically anyway. I was only really playing it with Trevor. But the people who make Titanfall and the Titanfall games came up with their own Battle Royale game. And it's like a combination of every other Battle Royale game that's been out with a little bit of like Overwatch thrown in. So it's just like the best of all the worlds in one game. And it's a lot of fun. And it's called Apex Legends. And it's the same thing as like all the other games. It's like you have a team of 3 that you're on, and you have to be the last team standing, and that's basically it. And you pick up weapons, you pick up ammo, but you have like a role system, like kind of like Overwatch. So you could be like a healer, you could be like a tank type person, you can be like a soldier. Which you don't have those abilities in like Fortnite and stuff like that. So it's a really fun game. They dropped it on Monday, like out of nowhere. And I think that's been a real benefit to the game because a lot of things that have been happening with games now is games get teased like months in advance and then demos come out like a month in advance and the game is canned before it's even released. And I think they came out and they're like, here's this game. Boom, play it. And then a couple of streamers started playing and they're like, yo, this shit's fucking awesome. And then everyone started playing it. And just to give you an idea on stats, it came out Monday and they already have 10 million downloads on it.
Wow.
And that took over 2.5 weeks for Fortnite. And this is in 3 days for this game. So I'm not saying it's like a Fortnite killer or anything by any means, because I'm sure it's just a lot of people who are picking it up and trying it.
Right.
But I think that this has the potential to bring a lot of people from a lot of different like battle royale games into like a new battle royale game. Because I could see people playing PUBG who would like this. I've seen a lot of people who play Fortnite who are like, this is a lot of fun. I see Overwatch streamers who are putting out guides for how to play this game. So I'm seeing people from all different worlds talking about it. And I don't know, I think it's pretty interesting. I think they do a lot of things right. They have a really good revival system that like you don't have in Fortnite. The weapons are fantastic. The gameplay is super smooth. There's lots of like movement that's fun. If you played Titanfall 2, which was like the best game that came out that no one played, it's a lot of that. You don't have the wall running. You don't have the giant mechs that you just beat the shit out of people in, but you have all the other mechanics. You have all the same weapons. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. It's free. You don't have to pay any money, even though it is like an EA game. Like there are microtransactions.
I was just going to ask that, yeah.
It's the same thing as Fortnite. It's all cosmetic stuff. So it's like, yeah, you could buy like a new skin. You can waste your money on it, but you don't need to.
So
there are characters that you can pay to unlock, but you also don't have to pay to unlock them because you can just play a couple of matches and win enough coins to just use that to do it. So you can do everything for free, and you don't buy anything that would give you any necessary advantage over anybody.
All right, so the game has promise, is what you're saying. We don't know if it has longevity as the other games, but right now it is looking promising to people, and if you're looking for something new to play, this is a game you should definitely jump on.
Yeah, it's fun. Check it out. It's different. It's different compared to the other ones, but it's also familiar, and it's just a lot of fun. Like they really emphasize working as a team, and I played all random matches with no like. I have my headset on, but I don't like talking on the mic. I'm one of those assholes. But like everyone is coordinated. Like every game I played, my entire team stayed together. Like no one ran off and did their own thing. Like everyone stuck together. And the thing that's kind of cool is if you're one of the higher scorers from like the previous round, when you come into this round, your squad is literally on billboards all over the arena as like the target. So you're like the target to be killed. Like if you're on the team that was like the best team the last time. So it's kind of cool, like running around and being like, Gittles base on the board needs to be killed. He's got the record with 0 kills. Like, yeah, wow, I'm so good.
It's almost like a Coliseum version of The Purge.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well,
And
that
there's
sounds
lots of
pretty
guns
fun.
and stuff. So it's fun, and we should all play it.
All right, I'll give it a chance. You think this is a game I'll enjoy?
I don't know. It's really fast paced. It's kind of like more Call of Duty-ish. So I don't know if you're into those kind of games.
Not really, but you know what? I'll give it a chance if we're all going to play. Why not?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we all get to hang out. Like, you can do like cool execution moves in this game, and like, there's some really funny videos online because things take a little longer to do in this game, and you can like call in shit from space. You can call in like airstrikes from space to bomb people. So there's like this video online of some guy, and like he sets up this airstrike, and this other dude kills him, and he's like sitting there, and he's going to execute him, and then this thing falls from space and just crushes him to death, and then the other guy gets up and walks away, and it's really funny.
All right, that sounds like fun. I'll have to go and
the Triple X3, just people dropping shit from space to kill people.
All right, I'll have to do that and go download the game, and then we all can play sometime together. With that music, that means we got to do the plugs and get out of here. Gittles, what do you have?
Gittle Base on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox Live, and yeah, that's it. I don't got anything else going on right now.
All right, Trevor's off the phone. Trevor, what do you got?
I'm sorry, that was an important phone call, but at Podcast Dummies on all social media, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we have a whole bunch of content coming out. The latest thing that we were talking about this week is trying to find Gittles' love, so we're trying to hook him up with some inmates.com, and we have a whole bunch... What?
Why prisoners? Why is it always like a prisoner or an inmate? Like,
that's really insulting. He thinks that you're that desperate.
I didn't bring this up. Our other co-host Chris did, and we're starting out slow, and we'll work our way up to billionaires, all right? Also, we have a lot of job opportunities for him lining up. We're finding a lot of posts on the internet because we want him...
prison jobs.
A lot of prison jobs. Anyway, so, and at BTG Rocks... at BTG Rocks on Xbox Live, I just downloaded the Apex Legends, and we're gonna do Twitch and everything with it and keep rocking and rolling.
You never gave out... You gave out all your social media. You never gave out the actual Twitch for Podcast Dummies.
Twitch.tv/Podcast Dummies. Like I said, Podcast Dummies on all social media.
Yeah, but Twitch is not social media. Twitch is a streaming platform, so you have to address that differently.
All streaming media sites and social media sites.
Thank you, Gittles.
For me, it's IHeartRadio across the board on social media and on the Xbox Live. But for the show, it's Erik Nagel on the social media. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube there. 651 Smithers, that's 651-764-8437 if you'd like to leave a message to be used on future shows. I think that's it. So let's get out of here. Until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell two friends so they can tell two friends.
And they can tell two friends. And they can tell two friends.
And
those two friends can tell two friends.
Well, you get the